Hello and welcome back to Solid. My name is Jake. Thank you guys very much for joining me. You seeing this face, you're hearing this voice. Guys, we're back. We made it to another Battlehawks season. Look at us. We had a great NFL season. Perfect, some might say. So some are saying perfect. Philadelphia Eagles winning the Super Bowl. Much better mental space than I was a year ago from today. My God, well, no, I guess a year ago from today, I had Saquon Barkley just got signed, and in this year, I've just lost everybody. So it doesn't matter. Eagles won the Super Bowl. Battlehawks season starting. Football lives on, baby. Football lives on. It starts not this Friday, but the Friday after that is when the Battlehawks play some team. Who gives a shit? But look at it. We're back. We made it. You made it through tornadoes, probably. I would assume you did. If you didn't, I don't know. Say hi to my grandpa and my grandma and my other grandma. The other grandpa is alive. He's 104. Anyway, that doesn't matter. What matters is that we're here. What matters is that we made it back. That's what it matters, man. This is good. We're gonna try to keep this one kind of short. I'm gonna do a series of these, kind of breaking down. I say breaking down. If you haven't been paying attention, and you haven't been paying attention to what's happening with the Battlehawks, why would you? Why would you pay attention to that? But things have changed with them and with the league. I've been keeping tabs on it. Your boy does that. I've been keeping tabs on what's been going on, and I'm going to just kind of go through the coaches today. I'm going to do the coaches today, and I'll get back to you with the quarterback changes because A.J. McCarron's gone. It was a messy little breakup that they had. They cut him. The Battlehawks cut A.J. McCarron, didn't tell him. And then his son found out about it and then told AJ's son found out about it and then told AJ, which I've been fired a handful of ways. And not that way though. Not that way. I haven't been fired that way. I've been fired one-on-one. I've been fired during the pandemic. The CEO of the company I worked at, shout out Chuck, just fired like a whole bunch of people all at once. That's probably the best way to do it. The second best way to fire someone is just tell his son and then have his son tell him. That's probably the best way to do it if you're the firer. If you're the firee, not a kid guy. I don't have kids, but that'd probably be a big kick in the dick right there. And turns out AJ was not too happy about it, but he was a broken-legged old man, and I think he's officially retired. So unfortunately, that means that we have no Catherine Webb in and around the stadium this year or ever, probably. But that's not what we're here to talk about. But yeah, I'll break down coaches today, quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, the positions. I'll break down all of those and everything. I keep saying break down. I'm not going to break down necessarily. I'm just going to inform you of the changes that have happened and give you a little bit of my input on it. I've got a pretty specific way that I look at football. I'm a concussion uncle. I'm a concussion uncle. You get a lot of concussions over your life, and you have a specific way of looking at things. There's a different way of looking at things, and you guys will kind of get that, and I'll probably inform you of it a little bit, but you can probably pick it up too. But what we're going to do now, we're going to start with the rule changes in the UFL. They came out with some new ones. There's going to be number one, first thing is that they're going back to the new old kick. So you know how in 2023 they had the new kickoff, and then the NFL took that and changed it a little bit, and it was dumb because they didn't punish teams enough for touchbacks. Then the NFL went to the XFL kick, and then the UFL in 2024 went back to the normal football kickoff. So they just swapped them. They just swapped kickoffs for some reason. I don't know why, but they did. The UFL is now going back to that new old kickoff. That makes sense. Go back and listen to that again. And it'll make sense. So they're going back to that. Here's what the rule says on the UFL website. The UFL's kickoff rules this season will be based on a combination of the kickoff used by XFL Legacy during its 2023 season and the NFL dynamic kickoff used by the NFL during the 2024 season. These changes include kickoffs will now start from the 30-yard line after being at the 20-yard line last season. Cool. 10 remaining players on the kickoff team will line up at the receiving team's 40-yard line. All kicking team players were at the 20-yard line. They're just explaining the difference. What matters now is that the kickoff team is going to be at the 40-yard line. Receiving team setup zone will stretch from its 35-yard line to the 30-yard line and must have at least 9 players in that zone. So exactly how the NFL was. So the kicker is kicking from his own 30. The kickoff team is at the other team's 40. The receiving team is at their 35. And they have the 5-yard thing there. 9 guys got to be there, and then there's the 2 returners in the back. Landing zone will be from the receiving team's 20-yard line to the goal line. Ball must reach the landing zone or will be spotted at the 40. That's good because the NFL had it so it was just at the 30-yard line, which is not near enough of a punishment than the 35. But the XFL is like, fuck it, we're going to go 40. And I love that. Punish people for doing wrong things. There will be 2 touchback spots, the 35-yard line for balls kicked into the end zone and the 20-yard line for balls that hit the landing zone and then enter the end zone. So if it's sorry. I was wrong. I congratulated the XFL too soon. There will be 2 touchback spots, a 35-yard line for balls kicked into the end zone. So if they kick the ball in the end zone, they're still being cowards. It's not the 30-yard line like the NFL did, but if the ball goes into the end zone, touchback is at the 35. Balls that hit the landing zone and then enter the end zone, touchback line is the 20-yard line. All touchbacks were placed at the 25-yard line last season. So at least they're doing that. But this is the fun rule change. That's a kickoff. This is the fun rule change. I really like this one. Head coach's challenge will be expanded in 2025. This extension will feature each coach will earn a second challenge if the first challenge is successful. The head coach can challenge any officiating decision as long as the team has a timeout remaining. Buddy, you know that I love me a super challenge. First of all, the name is great. That's a dumb name, and it's for dumb people. Fuck yeah, man. I love that. The super challenge. And teams can abuse it. Like you think somebody scores on a Chonko 75-yard touchdown pass. You know that there was an offensive lineman holding. You know somebody was holding. You can just use the super challenge and get rid of that. Okay, that's great. But now if you win your first one, you get a second one. That's going to be even more abuse. Hopefully. Anthony Becht, Battlehawks head coach, I think he's a dum-dum. I think that he's a dodo. I think that he doesn't offer anything to this team, and he breaks my 2 rules. He breaks my 2 rules. You either use it in the fourth quarter or you use it on a scoring play. A lot of times these idiots, we use it in the first quarter and on a play that's just like a first down. It's like, well, that was not a consequential play. I think you're dumb for using it then. But now this gives them a little bit more leeway. If they want to be dumb and use it then and they win, which they sometimes do, depends on if Dean Blandino, Dumb Blandino, Dumb Blindino, whatever I called them before. Depends if he's in a mood to do it or not, to overturn it or not. Sometimes he does that stupid thing where he's like, well, if you look at it in super slow motion and frame by frame, yeah, it was a penalty. But in live action, it's you can't. It's a real bang bang play. And my whole thing was always, well, Dean, teams only have one of these, and it's called a goddamn super challenge. Maybe you should treat it like that and break it down frame by frame because that's what they're challenging. We all saw it in live action. We're not challenging live action. We're challenging. You guys get what I mean. I get very frustrated with it. So hopefully, not only will this make me less frustrated with teams doing their super challenges early in a game on a dumb play. It'll make me less frustrated for that. But it'll also make me less frustrated if Dean does do his stupid the reasoning behind not overturning the play. On the flip side of that, it also means that there will be more opportunities for Dean to say some really stupid shit. Didn't think about that. Blood pressure is going to skyrocket. I think I know me pretty well. I know me better than I would say pretty much everybody knows me, and I know myself, and I'll get frustrated by that. So yeah, there's actually no chance, now that I'm thinking about it, there's no chance that my blood pressure is going to stay low, and I won't get more. I'll just get more frustrated, actually. I'll just get more frustrated. Anyway, that's the rule change. I was excited about that when I first started talking about it, but now that I've thought about it, and I thought about how that rule change is going to affect me personally, not happy. But good, it's good, but I'm fucked. The other rule change, they've eliminated onside kicks completely. The league has the sentence. What is that? 6 words. The league has eliminated this option. That's it. The kickoff team will be able to retain possession of the ball with a 4th down and 12-yard scrimmage. So it's a 4th and 12 from its own 28-yard line. So they will have to do a 4th and 12 from their 28. They have to get to the 40-yard line, and then they get the ball wherever that play ends if they complete it, which I like that. I think that with this kickoff, the way it is and the way that the NFL is going with it, I hope the NFL kind of takes some kind of thing like this. Maybe not a 4th and 12. I wish it would be longer. Maybe like a 4th and 15, 4th and 18, something like that. But yeah, no, that's fun. The onside kick is just bullshit now, since teams can't do I'm a burp in the mic. Since teams can't do the like fake onside kicks, and everybody knows what's going to happen. The percentage of successful onside kicks is at an all-time low. Maybe not all-time low, but it's at an incredible. If it's not all-time low, it's like 1% more or 1% less, whatever. It's really, really bad. So just doing this, it's more fun doing it this way when onside kicks suck now. So those are the 3 rule changes. And then they put another thing down here that says noteworthy rules returning. And it's just rules that are returning about the 1, 2, 3 point thing, the overtime and the double forward pass. Don't know why they put it returning. Don't know why they did it. Somebody just needed to hit a word count on this article. So that's the XFL rule changes. It's the head coach's challenge. It's the onside kicks. And they're going back to the new old, or the old new, whatever. They're going back to that other kickoff like the NFL. So that's neat, I think. I don't know. Kind of bummed me out when I realized the head coach or the coach's challenge thing. But let's get into what is going on new with the Battlehawks coaches and coaching staff. Talking about people that are returning. So the GM, David Bowler, don't know who the guy is, don't know why it matters. It's not owned by him. I guess it's never owned by a GM unless it's the Cowboys, and that's dumb. Don't know enough about David Bowler to give you any kind of opinion on the guy. But the head coach is Anthony Becht. I'm going to talk about returning people. Head coach is Anthony Becht. I already talked about how I don't like Big Tone. I don't think he offers much. That being said, I mean, he's very much a CEO head coach. And I got to tell you, honestly, even like going week 6 when Nick Sirianni was yelling at the Eagles fans after that Browns game. I was like, what the hell is this Jamoke doing, man? With this guy, what do we do? I did not like the idea of a CEO head coach. I didn't, and I wanted him fired after that. And listen, I'll be the first to tell you, I was the first. So if you don't know, I cover the Eagles. I should have said this first to give myself some kind of ethos. I cover the Eagles for Fansided. If you like me, if you like the Eagles, I write somewhere between 1,000 words and 2,000 words every single day. Google Jake Beckman Fansided, or go to Fansided and go to the Eagles page. I got something up there every single day. So if you like me, you like the Eagles, you like me and the Eagles, you like the Eagles or me, it doesn't matter. If you want something to read about the best team in the world, go look at that. Anyway. I was wrong about Nick Sirianni. I was wrong about the CEO head coach thing. I thought it was a dumb thing, but the team played for him. The team loved playing for him. And he he is a good coach. And fuck you if you say differently. It's Nick Sirianni, and it's eat a dick. That's the world. That's the world we live in. You don't like him, that's anti-Italian discrimination. That being said, don't like Anthony Becht, and I would be delighted to be wrong about him. He is very much a coach for the players kind of guy, which is respectable. I understand why these guys are in this league, but if you want to win football games, I would coach to win football games rather than coaching for the players. I don't know what that's what he said. That's me reading between the lines a little bit. as well. But I'm not impressed with Anthony Becht. But we can see what he does with an entirely new offense. But I'll get to that. So anyway, Anthony Becht is returning. Running backs coach and special teams coach Kyle Caskey. I keep wanting to say McCaskey. Kyle Caskey is returning. I like him. The running backs were good last year. Special teams was good last year. Sure, keep Kyle Caskey. Wait, is that the only two that are returning? Oh, this one, yeah, I could say this is returning because he's also a new one. Offensive coordinator, and he's returning wide receivers coach Phil McGogan. It's Irish. He's Irishman, and it's St. Patrick. Phil McGogan. Phil McGogan is the new offensive coordinator, but he is returning wide receivers coach. Defensive coordinator is returning Donnie Abraham. DBs and secondary coach Martin Bayless is returning. Linebackers coach Chris Claiborne is returning. Defensive line coach Leroy Glover is returning. If I'm me, and I am me, I would want a little bit, like, the defense was good last year. They weren't great or anything. It's the UFL. There's only one team that really is great, and it's Birmingham Stallions. I think that I would maybe try to change a little bit up on the defense. I like the way that I like Donnie Abraham's defense was interesting. So you can keep him, but I mean, we're looking. These players want to develop, and it's a developmental league. I would. No defensive player has really, especially from the Battlehawks. I mean, Willie Harvey made it to the Cowboys practice squad, then didn't make the team. I would maybe try to get somebody that could develop them a little bit more, to be NFL. It's kind of a hairy thing. I don't know, man. Sure, keep them. I wouldn't expect a whole lot to be different for the defense, which I guess is a good thing. And I mean, the defense didn't really lose. The only game that the defense lost last year was that game against the Stallions when they let up a absolute shitload of points. But the defense was good. It was one of the better defenses in the UFL. So sure, keep them if you want to do good in it. We'll see. Yeah, that's my take on it. We'll see. They had some good players on defense. Leroy Glover's a good defensive line coach. Maybe it was talent. They know more than what I know because we don't know what we don't know. But sure. You know what? I'm going to change my mind. I don't want anybody to lose their job. Look at me. Look at this is growth. I don't want anybody to lose their. I'm going to say somebody should lose their job at some point in the next, 10 to 12 weeks, 10 to 13 weeks, or whatever it is. Don't clip this. Okay, new coaches. Like I said, offensive coordinator Phil McGogan, offensive line coach Mark Colombo, and QB's coach Seneca Wallace. Let's kind of go in and see what these guys have had going on. Mark Colombo, the new offensive line coach. As a player, Colombo, he was with the Bears from 2002 to 2004. He was with the Cowboys from 2005 to 2009, and with the Dolphins in 2010, I believe. It might be 2011. Anyway, he had a little bit of a playing career, and he's got a good football name. But he's a Cowboy for a long time, and that means I don't like him. Okay, as a coach, this is what's important. As a coach, Mark Colombo was the assistant offensive line coach for the Cowboys from 2016 to 2018. He was the offensive line coach for the Cowboys, not the assistant. He got promoted to the offensive line coach with Jason Garrett from 2018 to 2019. In 2018, and this is the important thing, Cowboys offensive line, except for, I guess, last year and then this year that's coming up, they've had a good offensive line. Now, you could say that that's talent. You could say that's coaching, mix of both. All right, they had. I gotta give them props where it's due. I don't want to. The team sucks, but you gotta give them props where it's due, and they've had a good offensive line. In 2018, Zeke ran for 1,434 yards and 6 touchdowns, and that was in 2018. And again, Zeke's a good running back, but you look at Why that happens? It's because of the offensive line. The Saquon Barkley ran for 2,000 plus yards this year. First thing that he did was thank the offensive line. The offensive line is the thing that matters for these guys. I probably could have gone in and looked to see what their yards before, what Zeke's yards before contact were. Maybe I'll do that, but I probably won't. So that was in 2018. 2019, this was the Tony Pollard and Zeke year. So I'm going to count both of them. They both combined to rush for 1,812 yards and 14 touchdowns. So that's good. These were good offensive lines that this guy was building. All right, so that's 2018, 2019. In 2020, Jason Garrett left the Cowboys, went to be the offensive coordinator for the Giants, and he took Mark Colombo with him. Mark Colombo in 2020 got fired after week 10. The Giants fired him, and this is funny. I'm gonna read this article from ESPN. This is Jordan Renan. The headline is New York Giants fire offensive line coach Mark Colombo. The New York Giants fired offensive line coach Mark Colombo following a nasty verbal confrontation with head coach Joe Judge. You can't blame him. Joe Judge is an idiot, sources told ESPN, and have replaced him with longtime NFL assistant Dave DeGuglielmo. Quote, "We appreciate what Mark has done, but I felt like this move is in the best interest of the team," Judge said in a statement released by the team Wednesday. That's funny, especially if it's a verbal altercation. That we appreciate what Mark has done. You don't. Continuing. When Mark Colombo was told of a plan by Judge to hire DeGuglielmo as a consultant on Tuesday night, it did not go down well. Colombo did not agree with the move and felt that he was being undermined, a source told ESPN, due to DeGuglielmo's background as an offensive line coach. Another source added that the hands-on Judge wanted to bring in, quote, one of his guys to capture more control at a position that is not his expertise. Although there was plenty of name-calling, and then we appreciate what Mark has done. That's great. Although there was plenty of name-calling, Colombo and Judge did not get into a fistfight, as one report indicated. Love it. I want my offensive line coach to fight a coach. That's good. That's tenacity. That's grit. Fist fight your boss. That's the takeaway here. Fight your boss. A Giants spokesperson said that the report of a physical altercation is, quote, absolutely false in every way. I don't know. That's less fun. I like to think they fought. The move to fire Colombo was a surprise given that the Giants' offensive line has shown improvement in recent weeks. The Giants have rushed for more than 150 yards in each of their past 3 games. Colombo was hired by a Judge this season to work under Colombo's former boss, Jason Garrett, like we said. Let's go down. Colombo, 42. Played 10 years in the NFL for the Chicago Bears, Cowboys, and Dolphins. He worked as an assistant with the Cowboys for each of the previous 4 seasons. It's a little bit diminishing what he said, or what his actual resume is. Among Colombo's top jobs has been to work with the Giants' young offensive linemen. 3 of their first 5 picks in this year's draft were offensive linemen, including number 4 overall pick Andrew Thomas, 5th-round pick Shane Lemieux, was recently inserted into the starting lineup, and 3rd-round selection Matt Pert has been rotated in. But Thomas thoroughly struggled early, and his sloppy technique became a topic of conversation. Quote, we sat down, had conversations with Andrew, talked about taking his technique from the practice field to the game. That is what he's done lately, Colombo said this week. He has a new air of confidence. The past couple weeks, he has played really well. His timing has been better. His pass sets have been better. His run blocking has been better. We just have to keep growing. I've noticed more confident Andrew this past few weeks. So that's the end of that news story. Takeaway from that is that Mark Colombo fought Joe Judge. It was a fist fight, real knockdown, drag-out fight. Unfortunately, Joe Judge won that fight. It would have been funny if he didn't. I guess it's a good thing because Joe Judge is a total dum-dum. If Joe Judge fires you, that's kind of a good thing. You don't want to be fired. Man, it didn't even have to take 10 to 13 weeks. You should be If Joe Judge fires you, that's a good thing. You put that on your resume. You said Joe Judge didn't like me. Joe Judge fired me because I didn't like him and tried to fist fight Joe Judge. But don't worry, Joe Judge appreciated him. That's what he said. Okay, so that is Mark Colombo. I don't know. It's, again, developmental league. The offensive line was much better last year than it was the year before that. So maybe they take a step forward. Again, if you want guys to develop and to change, that's a change in changing your coaching staff is a good way to do it. Get another set of eyes in there. So that's Mark Colombo. I don't know. I think I kind of talked myself into liking him. Not him as a person or like a player, Cowboys and that whatnot, but again, fight your boss. You're gonna win. If you send me a video or a story about you fighting your boss, I'm gonna be on your side, especially if it's a fist fight. That's not a blanket rule. Like, if you're clearly in the wrong, then they'll probably won't appreciate. It's probably not good. But if your boss is an idiot and he tries to bring in some other guy who's probably an idiot and you don't like it and you call him a dick and then punch him in the mouth, I'm on your side. All right, other coach that we got going on here. Let's see. Seneca Wallace is the new quarterbacks coach. Again, this is a big thing because the quarterbacks in this room are new. We've got, I'll get to this later on, but we've got Shevin. I'll learn how to pronounce it better. Cordero, and we got Max Duggan are the two new guys, and I'm not going to bring up the third guy because I don't like him. Okay. Seneca Wallace is the new quarterbacks coach. As a player, he's at the Seahawks from 2003 to 2009, with the Browns for 2010 and 2011, and then he played the practice squad on the Saints and 49ers, and then was a player. Actually, he was on the practice squad for the Saints and 49ers, but played for the Packers in 2013. Doesn't matter. Who cares? As a coach, now this was fun. This was fun to look into. He was the assistant coach at the Episcopal School of Dallas from 2017 to 21. Where I don't know what you can't look up what I don't know. You probably could look it up, but I could not find. I'll say that I could not find what assistant coach meant for him. But in some capacity, his record was the varsity team, which is important here. The varsity team was 18-11. With at his time at the Episcopal School of Dallas from 2017 to 21, the record was 18-11. It's not great. He was the assistant, or is a coaching assistant with the Cowboys in 2020. Again, don't know what that means and what his job was there. But that was a bad year for the Cowboys. He was from 2022 to 2023. He was an assistant coach at John Paul II High School in Plano, Texas. That year, the record was 0-8. So, not good. So far, his coaching background is assistant coach, coaching assistant, and assistant coach. Not great. And then in 2024. He was the assistant coach at Rock Hill High School in Frisco, Texas, where the varsity team's record was 6-5. And then, since that was the most recent one, I decided to look in, and I looked on their school directory to see exactly what his job was. And it said he was the assistant basketball coach, and he was the JV coach for Rock Hill High School. So that's 6-5. That's their varsity. So I don't know what their JV team was, and I don't think it matters, because if he was their JV coach, who gives a shit? That coaching doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Which begs the question, this man's a quarterback coach now. So that's not good. I remember Seneca Wallace as a player, and I was unimpressed. And then now he's a quarterback coach after being a JV assistant coach, not a JV head coach, but a JV assistant coach, which is not good. That's not. Anyway, let's move on from there. He's going to be in charge of developing some young quarterbacks, and that is like, I don't know if you're Max Duggan, you were a Heisman. He was a runner-up to the Heisman, and what was that, 2022? I think is what it was. Yeah, I think that's the year it was. He got second place in Heisman voting behind Caleb Williams, and then Seneca Wallace is gonna like. What do you do? That's a, you know what? It's the UFL. You take what you can get, and what you can get is Seneca Wallace. So that's certainly neat. I should have mentioned he took over for Bruce Gradkowski, I believe, was the quarterback's coach. Bruce Gradkowski's gone. Bruce Gradkowski was a quarterback's coach, offensive coordinator in 2024 and 2023. I think the guy was a dum-dum too. I didn't like his offenses. He stood in the booth, and the camera would cut to him, and he'd look all smug and gross looking, and then he would what was that stupid play? Chaos. Remember Chaos? Remember when he called Chaos twice? He called Chaos twice. That was the one where both of the tackles went out wide and lined up like wide receivers, and then the play didn't work at all the first time, and then he did it in the playoffs, and then it didn't work at all there. I'm not a fan of Bruce Gradkowski, and also all the screens. But yes, that doesn't matter here. Yeah, well, I guess it kind of does, because right now we're going to talk about the new offensive coordinator, Phil McGogan, who is now like I said, offensive coordinator and wide receivers coach. As a player, Phil McGogan was a wide receiver for the Broncos. This doesn't matter, from 2001 to 2002. Also played for the Berlin Thunder in 2002, Jets practice squad in 2003, Saints in 2003. As a coach, though, Phil, our buddy Phil here, he's got a resume, a long one. 2007, he was the wide receivers coach for Maine. 2008, he was the offensive coordinator for Navy Prep. 2009 to 2011, South Florida wide receivers coach. 2012 to 2014, assistant wide receivers coach for the Dolphins. 2015, wide receivers coach for the Dolphins. 2016, Eastern Carolina wide receivers coach. 2017, Bills wide receivers coach. 2018 to 2020, Chargers wide receivers coach. 2022, Colorado wide receivers coach. He was the wide receivers coach for the Battlehawks last year, and now he's the offensive coordinator. So, my problem with this, and I think that it's going to be good content. If you're looking forward to hearing, because what in the UFL, the XFL, what do you want to call it? UFL is what it technically is, which is whatever. In the UFL, they have the calls from the OC to the quarterback. It's mic'd up, so we're going to be able to hear this guy mic'd up calling the plays in to whoever the quarterback's going to be, which is going to be great because this guy's never called in a play before. Maybe he did at Navy Prep. What is Navy Prep? Let me call Naval Academy Preparatory School. So I can't imagine in 2008 that Navy Prep exactly their playbook was I don't know, big or good. So now he's going to be calling plays in, and we're going to be able to hear him doing that, which is going to be tremendous. If you've ever wondered what it would be like to call in a play, I implore you to pay attention, and you're going to pay attention to it, to listen to Phil McGogan. Hearing him calling in plays is going to be interesting. Typically, you would want a person who's called in plays before to do it, especially when it's going to be aired on TV, but that's where the Battlehawks are with this. I think it's dumb. I think that doing a wide receivers coach as an offensive coordinator is dumb. I think that's a really bad idea. Typically you'd want an offensive coordinator to kind of see the game the same way as a quarterback would. And it's not going to be like that. If you like, I don't know what kind of playbook they're going to run. They did a hybrid West Coast thing last year. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. The general logic would have you think that a wide receivers coach is going to try to run an offense that's a little bit more pass heavy. Max Duggan is not exactly the best thrower of the football in the world. Cordero, I'll have to go back and watch before I really call it on him. Let's see what he had as his college stats. Most passing yards were with San Jose State in 2022 with 3,200. I guess maybe he can spin the ball. Those numbers would make you think that he could. It's really hard to say. But I don't know. I'm a run the ball guy. Like I said, concussion uncle, I'm a yell run the ball. Throwing the ball is good. I reserve the right to change my mind on that. But with this league, I typically prefer running the ball because it's a higher, the risk and reward kind of a thing. We've seen so many drop passes from Battlehawks receivers in the past. To be fair, he's also got Hakeem Butler, who in this league is good. I don't know. It's gonna be a hot mess. That's my point here, is that this is gonna be a hot mess. This is gonna be a hot mess. Bruce Gradkowski, maybe not a good offensive coordinator, maybe late to calling plays in, and it was really good when AJ McCarron would call Bruce on his bullshit and be like, "Get the fucking call in, Bruce," and they would. That was great. That was, I love that. I did a whole award for best hot mic moment of the week, and I love that. That was great. I don't know if either of these quarterbacks are necessarily going to have the clout to be able to tell a new offensive coordinator to get the ball in, or to get the play call in, but I don't know. I think it'll be fun. That's kind of my point there. But yeah, so that's the new coaches. Like I said, we got Mark Colombo, the offensive line coach, Seneca Wallace, the guy who's now the quarterbacks coach. We'll see how that works out. And then Phil McGogan, the wide receivers coach and offensive coordinator. This was longer than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, that's what we got for today. That's the new coaching changes. I'll be back with you guys later for quarterbacks and offense and all. Yeah, you get what I mean. I'll be back with all the new changes and everything like that. The Battlehawks they're doing their training camp right now down in Texas. I wish I could see it. If you're a UFL person or a Battlehawks person and somehow you stumbled on this, hey, I talk shit on some of the hires, but that means I'm a critical person. And that's the deal. If I'm going to be critical of people, I'm going to be critical. But when you do good, I'm going to give you your flowers too. I'm not going to sit here and just fluff a team because they're my team necessarily. I'm not going to do that. Like I said, I dog cuss Nick Sirianni. I'm a dog cuss you. Listen, I'm a dog cuss you. But when you do good, I'm gonna give you your flowers. I just based on who these guys are, man, I haven't seen nothing yet. Maybe I'll be surprised. Set your expectations low. That way you can always be surprised. That's the plan here. Anyway, thank you guys very much for joining me. This has been solid. If you're listening to this on whatever podcast thing, you can watch it on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, you can watch it, or you can listen to it if you want to. But thank you guys very much. We're back, baby. We're back. There's been a wait. And we're in high spirits now. All right, thank you guys very much for joining me, and I will be back with you later, and I'll talk to you then. Go Birds, go Battlehawks, go Ironbirds. If you say anything to anybody, they're gonna translate it as like you're a pro Battlehawks guy. Like I was getting a car wash yesterday, and the guy's like standing there next to the little gate thing, and he said, "Oh, car wash is actually broken right now. We can't let you in." And I said, "Oh, that sucks." But honestly, when he heard, "Oh, that sucks," the way he took it, obviously he took it. He's like, "Oh, that guy just likes the Battlehawks." So that's just how every conversation goes, really. Anyway, thank you guys very much for joining me. I will talk to you later.